The best lesson I have ever learned in life is the concept of self-image. Where again, everyone needs to tap into this concept. Self-image is important more than anything in this life. A lot of concepts they talk about, self-image comes first. Why again, in order to build confidence, in order to get respect, in order to be loved, in order to be honored, in order to feel powerful, all those concepts align to self-image. It's so important how you perceive yourself, how you feel about yourself. Self is way more important. As these codes have been, going around for a couple of years, how do you expect to be loved if you don't love yourself? How do you expect to be respected if you don't respect yourself? It all goes to what? Self at the end of the day. Self-image has taught me one of the best lessons in life. I've been reading books, watching podcasts, watching videos, getting more information on understanding self-image. Why again? Self-image is not the same thing as self-worth. Self-worth is more of like, the things you have in life. But self-image, it's how you perceive yourself at any given point in your life. It's either you have the house, you have the car, you have the money, you have the good relationships. Without those, self-image remains constant. Self-image doesn't change. It's always gonna be you. So it's so important to put your self-image above, any situation you're facing in life. Even though you're not in the best current moment right now, you need to perceive yourself as a winner. You need to perceive yourself as someone who's doing great. You need to perceive yourself as someone who's, accumulated such, achievements in life. Self-image will save you a lot in life. Even though, you're facing something bad right now. But if you always perceive yourself good, you'll ignore that circumstance. You'll always see yourself on a brighter side, and it's important on how you perceive yourself. Why gang? Even though you have the cars, even though you have the money, even though you have whatever you wanted to accumulate in life, but if you lack the power of self-image, all those concepts won't matter. This is why there's certain people in life where they've accumulated certain wealth, but they don't feel, worthy enough, or they don't feel themselves as the greatest enough. Why? They lack the concept of self-image. Even though you don't have anything in life, that doesn't mean you should look like you don't have anything in life. That doesn't mean you should look, like rusty and all that. Keep yourself clean, respect yourself, always maintain your health, mindset and all that. Even though you're bored, you don't have any ambitions, grab a book, read, watch helpful content, just do something with your life. That's the importance of self-image. You always see yourself growing at any point in your life. A lot of people ruin it when it comes to this. A lot of people wait for circumstances, events, or just something to happen in their lives so they can, be approved or get certain validation that their self-image it's in this position. They wait for external validation to prove them more. That's where the problem is. This is why a lot of people feel lost, so-called, finding myself and stuff like that. Why again, it all comes to self-image. The concept of self-image doesn't really imply to what you have. Yes, that has a factor. It's like a cherry on top. But a self-image happens even though you don't have any point to prove outside of yourself that you're worth this, you're worth that. I perceive myself this and that. It has nothing to do in many cases with the things you have. It's how you perceive yourself more. It's so important to perceive yourself great at all times. As I say, even though you don't have anything, but if you put yourself, in a life, in a reality where you already accumulated such, it gives you more confidence within yourself. It gives you more self-esteem, more self-love, which is so important. The concept of self-image is so important. A lot of people lose themselves a lot. They got caught up on the outside world and they forget their internal selves. That's where they detach from the self-image concept. It's so important to come to yourself all the time. And you're with yourself, you just ignore yourself. You can't detach, you just ignore yourself. Self-image is important. Trust me. The more you view yourself great all the time, I'm not saying you don't face any, ups and downs, bad moments. We do face those bad moments. But if you just let those bad moments pass by and focus on what you want to become, which is your purpose, your first priority in life is becoming better. Focus on that. Stop getting distracted with these small events, these small circumstances trying to block you, to reach your fullest potential. Yes, the bad moments happen. Yes, we fumble. Yes, we make mistakes. But it doesn't determine who we are. It's just part of the journey. A lot of people get lost in the sauce, thinking that if a bad or a dark moment happens, it's part of me. That's where you ruin everything. We need to focus on the outcomes of it and the journey itself. So if bad moment happens, do not change your self-image. Do not change how great you are. Do not change how good you perceive yourself. Even though you face dark moments, keep focusing on the light all the time. As they say, where focus goes, energy flows. That's so super true. A lot of you guys get caught up in the source. When you focus on a journey, you're trying to build yourself up, and then something bad happens along the way. You just get lost in the source. You got distracted. Now you immerse yourself with that situation. You and that dark situation, you're connecting with it now, and you're gonna become it. What you need to do is your self-image. How you perceive yourself and feel about yourself. Even though it gets bad, even though you don't see the result you want, stop getting caught up in the sauce. Don't get distracted. Keep pushing on. Leave all that behind and focus on what matters. Yes, you don't have nothing now, but don't focus on that. Focus on the point where you have, what you want. It's simple as that, right? Trust me. Put yourself out there, see yourself out there. Your life is going to follow. Simple as that.